So why not? And why don't we bring Heather McDonald in for this one too?
Why not? Oh,
Heather
you know what's
McDonald.
interesting? If my notes are correct, which I hope they are, her husband's an investment banker. So maybe we'll ask her if guys talk about money too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do we know Heather McDonald, though? Like, from seeing her around?
I don't know.
Heather McDonald, welcome.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you. I know you've been up here many times, and I know you. I know your comedy, and we know you from TV, but I feel like there's some sort of weird connection here somehow.
I know you from somewhere.
Yeah.
But
like,
where?
Have we crossed paths, or did you give me a high five in the hallway once?
I don't know.
Have I seen you in a dream or something?
I've lived in LA my whole life. Have you?
No, I haven't.
So that eliminates that right there.
That happens a lot.
It must be another Mexican guy.
When I'm at Target, that happens a lot.
Yeah. No.
People will be like, other women will say, I know you. And I go, well, and it's always sort of, you don't really want to say, well, you may have seen me on TV because it sounds sort of conceited.
Right.
So I'll be like, well, I'll start to say, like, well, I'm a comedian. It's not that. Well, I was on a show called Chelsea lately. I don't remember you.
Right.
No, I think we went to high school together. I'm like, no, we didn't.
So here you go through your whole resume.
Then this one woman goes, so then we realized, okay, she went to the public high school. I went to the Catholic high school. She's like, I know it. We used to hang out at Faze's nightclub as teenagers together. I'm like, no, I never went to Faze's nightclub. I was like a dork. I wasn't going to an underage nightclub.
Heather McDonald.
It got so embarrassing after a while.
I think it's not the Chelsea Lately thing. It's not that.
Please tell me it's my Netflix stand-up special. You paid to see me.
No.
Wait, I think I saw you at Ralph's. No,
I love Ralph's.
You getting free samples at Trader Joe's by the coffee thing.
I love Trader Joe's and I love Costco.
You know what it is? I honest to God, I think maybe you were supposed to be on our show.
I don't know.
We did all this prep on you, or I did a lot of research.
I never flake, so someone must have canceled me.
That's the day you fly.
This is
No.
too.
I feel like there was something like you were supposed to be on a while ago. It didn't work out.
Okay.
Schedule conflicts or something. But now she's
Let's
here.
move on to today. This is
Heather
great intro.
Heather. I'm glad you really went through all that.
Thank you.
Hey, we just wrapped up an interesting conversation. You might have some insight on.
I'm sure I do.
Because you have insight probably on everything, right?
Of course I do.
Your husband's an investment banker.
Kind of.
Like a money guy type
Yes,
of thing?
he's
Fair.
he handles all the money investments.
Okay.
Thank God. I'm that type of person that if he dropped dead tomorrow, I'd be screwed. I don't know where anything is. I go, please just put the passwords in a safe somewhere. Like, I don't even know. Yeah.
The reason we bring this up, we had a friend in need. Someone reached out to us and said that it's a woman saying her husband is in that money world, that he works on Wall Street,
okay,
and he doesn't pay enough attention to her, and all he talks about is money and finance and money, and everything's money, and how could she get through to him? She reached out to his best friend
to screw him.
No, not to bet. No, not to bet.
Now that would be juicy. That'd be some juicy scope. I don't know. I've been married so long, and I just pray every day to get through it, and
just to get through.
It's just hard.
It's
just hard. I don't know. I've tried everything.
You know what? Yeah, a lot of
cried.
times.
Crying definitely wears off after a certain amount of years of, and I noticed what's great though is my tears still work on my sons. They're still they're still like a guy that's like, oh no, don't cry, you know. So it's kind of great. I'm sort of manipulating them like I used to be able to do with my husband.
Right. So your power's
but
working on
he's
that.
over it. He's
Gotcha.
seen the fake tears.
Gotcha.
Was the
she
line
can try
crossed?
fake tears, huh?
Was the line crossed when she reached out to the friend though? Was the
she
line
reached out
crossed?
to the male friend and said what?
Like,
Like,
can you talk to him?
Right.
Like if
I don't know. I've reached out to my mother-in-law like a million times, and it's worked out okay. But then the last time my husband was like pissed because he knew I went by the pool equipment to talk to her just to bitch about the person she raised,
right?
And which is very inappropriate, very inappropriate. And she's like, "Why is he like that, honey? You're just so great." Like, I think he's a little jealous that she clearly likes me more than him, and so I don't think that's a great idea.
Yeah,
I don't think you get other people involved. I don't. Oh God, girl.
Oh God.
You might have to take some serious steps.
Well, when you're praying for your
you may
marriage,
have to,
can you
go
just
away.
add a little prayer for her?
I will. What's
tonight?
her name?
Don't have her name, but yeah.
I think you have to get serious. Like, you have to just either. I always threaten counseling.
Oh. That's a good one.
we don't go, but I threaten it. and that usually, but you have to get real serious. You have to be like, the appointment is now.
Threaten with
I found
other men.
the place.
Other men will get a guy's attention. I'll tell you that. Right?
Yeah, I think
My
that's not a
husband
good
doesn't
idea.
believe. My husband knows I would never, so it's just like, he's like, good, go have fun.
Go.
He's the most non-jealous person.
Okay, so I got another friend in need.
This is wonderful. I
But
love
this was
the advice
long,
giving.
though. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We're in our relationship portion of the show. You missed all the other
Is there
stuff.
a relationship?
Yeah, you missed all the sports.
Oh
and,
my God,
and
I'm so bummed I missed the sports.
You missed. You missed all the other stuff going on.
Okay.
So this one's from Joe Fiore, who we've met, we know for years. He listens to the show. Friend in need. I've been dating this girl for over 2 months. I really enjoy spending time with her. We have a lot in common. She's super sweet, good person. However, was in a relationship, married, now divorced for a better part of 11 years and hasn't really dated much. She knows I have never been married, and we're both okay with these facts. The first 2 months were good. I enjoyed spending time with her. We met a lot of each other's friends, even exchanged Christmas gifts. However, the last 2 weeks have been bad. We've been fighting and arguing. The stuff we argue about are both legitimate and totally unreasonable. She was mad I didn't see her on her actual birthday, but helped throw a New Year's birthday, and I got her an awesome, expensive gift. Then she got mad I didn't offer to shovel her driveway and hang and,
they live
and
in
help
the
her
snow.
after the snowstorm.
That life.
Okay, so here's the meat of the
God.
question, okay? So that's a little background. I wanted to rush through that.
Got it.
We had a 2-hour conversation about what we wanted and what was bothering both of us. Again, this is a 2-month relationship so far.
Right.
We came to the conclusion that we wanted to sleep on this. Last night, she wanted to talk, but never alluded to how important it was to her. I had a long, rotten day, and I just wanted to go to sleep since I was exhausted. She said fine, but was clearly upset. Then she sent me a text that made me feel bad about wanting to talk the next night. So I called her back, and we
I want to
argued.
break up with her.
Yeah, we argued over the fact that she didn't respect my feelings, and she thinks she has. I feel bad.
It's a long-ass email,
I know,
by the way.
I feel
Jesus
bad.
It's okay.
Christ.
It's okay. It's still interesting. Keep going.
I feel bad that we've been arguing, but I also know I've tried as hard as I could. Now I'm getting really tired of this crap. So I attribute to this little email and this discussion to early warning signs, because my immediate advice to Joe was to run. And I think that when you're in a new scenario, a new relationship, we often see these red flags and warning signs, and we fail to recognize them or acknowledge them or act on them.
I think we've been there, and you see friends ignoring early warning signs.
I remember when my sister, who has been, I'm married, I'm happily sometimes married. My sister's very happily married. Okay. 18 years happily married. Husband just adores her. She married a lovely Beverly Hills Jew that just thinks that she makes the greatest shrimp cocktail ever. I'm like, you understand? It's not a dish. The girl cannot do anything wrong. It's just, he just worships her. Okay.
Right.
And when we were living together in Brentwood, she was a lawyer and I was a struggling stand-up comic. We'd go out with all these guys, and she met him, and I'm like, she's like, I think he's the one. I'm like, how do you know? And she goes, because it's easy. And I just think that is the most profound thing. It should not be hard, especially at 2 months. However, that being said, because she's been through a divorce and all of that, she's like gun shy. Yeah, she doesn't know the game. She doesn't know to be cool. Right. But also, though, being married, I feel like a woman who's been married before, after a certain age, and divorced, she does know how to be a wife, and she's probably going to be more could be. Now girls are going to get mad, but they can be, like, a divorced mom can be the greatest catch for a single guy, because she's been catering to other people for the last decade. So she's going to be way more.
Her list of demands are probably lower in a weird way, because she's used to accommodating other people.
I think, like, all this fighting and stuff that early on, like, I never argued with my husband the entire time we dated, and then so it's gonna get worse after you get married. So if it's this bad in the beginning, you take a break. I would say take a break from each other and see how you feel like in 3 weeks. If it's really like you're super missing this person, then be like, okay, let's just start over. But some women get really weird about things like their birthday. Like, can you imagine a guy being like, you didn't take me out on my actual birthday. Your birthday was January 21st.
But I took you out that weekend.
But
it wasn't my actual
Your actual birthday was on a Monday night, so I thought we'd celebrate the Saturday before. Like, we went to a big fancy dinner. Yeah, but Monday night came around.
We didn't talk when we said we were supposed to talk.
Yeah,
and you didn't help me shovel.
That seems a little ridiculous. You have to understand, like, there's just a complete difference in the male-female brain, and like,
but how easy? Like your friend, I think that is profound. You want things to be easy, but you said so yourself too. You know, it's work. It is work, and nothing's ever really easy. Everything's easy in the beginning. You know,
but it just should be.
It should be.
And then sometimes, you've said the early warning signs. I remember being on maybe a second or third date with someone, and you know when you just get in a little squabble, she got out of my car and it's like, I'll just walk. And did one of those, and I ended up dating that girl for a while longer. And I remember thinking to myself, like, that was such a warning sign that if you're fighting with someone a second date in, where she does the little act where she gets out of the car and she's like, whatever, I'm just
come back, come on,
and then you have to do that whole
oh, that's a nightmare.
Get back in the car thing. That should have been a sign early on. It really should
have. I don't think I've ever gotten out of the car.
Yeah, it's not a good sign.
You've never pulled that move? Good for you. That's the worst move. It's a helpless feeling for a guy.
I've turned my head to the window. He's driving, and I've put my fingers in my ear, and I've started to pray very loudly just to hear. Like, I'm like, dear Jesus, please just let him understand that I don't want to talk about this anymore. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. And I just keep doing that until he stops talking.
Oh, my God.
Which I think is worse than getting out. Also, why do I want to walk? What the hell am I going to, how am I supposed to get out? And like, they're going to
get to where you're going.
They're not going to care. And then, I've never pulled that in marriage. I've never packed a bag and gone to the Woodland Hills Marriott and just, like, why?
844 SXM Rush. I want your feedback on this, guys. 844 SXM Rush. 412 letter CNR show to text us. Heather McDonald's here at Heather McDonald. Caroline's on Broadway, January 19th through the 22nd. It's the early red flags, the early indicators that there's a little something off here, which also entices you and gets you excited. Like, oh, she's a fiery one. All right. And you want to be able to tame this one. But dude, I have these stories too. Everyone does, and I want to hear them. If you can go back, what would you do? I think we fail to recognize them when they happen. I remember you and I had, I mean, this is a different time in our life, but we had
when you guys dated?
When we dated, we threw something called a swallow Schween party instead of a Halloween party. That's
a really catchy name. So what is the story from this night?
And I remember, we took all these pictures with all these random hussies and all these girls that were there and everything, and all the girls were looking sexy. And I remember the girl I was dating at the time happened to see these photos come up, and she fucking exploded. We were like,
wait a minute, you didn't invite the girl you were dating?
No, this is a long time ago. She couldn't make it or whatever. So this was three months ago, 3 months into it, and I remember her exploding at this moment, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, I didn't even know we were that serious, and now you're exploding in this way,
like hurtful,
like
the
mean, like
shit.
How the fuck you, you're a piece of shit, this and that, and I'm like, wow, man,
she must care.
She must really care. So instead of seeing,
sometimes that's exciting. All the fighting and that can be fun.
Yes,
but that's not who you want to marry or move in with.
Instead of seeing the warning sign of, whoa, this was over the top, I was just shit on in the worst way possible, and I didn't even know.
I just took a bunch of pictures with like slutty girls and posted them.
But it was innocent though. It was our
my
party.
Girlfriend who follows me happened to have seen it.
It was a broadcast. It was something for the show related. Yeah, but anyway, long story short, instead of attributing that to a red flag or warning sign, again, I did what you said. I'm like, oh yes, she must really care, and I'm going to show her how much I care back. And that's recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
If you could go back and recognize those signs. So, Joe, I would tell Joe.
Yeah.
Again, this is a major warning sign. I agree with Heather too. 2 months into it, she's pulling that kind of shit. It's time to move on already.
I believe you're right.
2 months into it.
Don't get caught up early with problems like your lovely sister said.
Yes.
Easy breezy. Let me ask you this, Heather. You do a weekly podcast?
Yes, I do.
How do you like doing that compared to stand-up? Because completely different worlds.
And what's great is the people that listen to my podcast, Juicy Scoop with Heather McDonald, 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sometimes they go see my live show. They're like, oh my God, I thought it was going to be like the podcast, or I thought you were going to be talking, and it's, funnier because it's stand-up.
Yeah, right.
But the podcast is funny too. I don't know. I love it because when I was writing and producing Chelsea lately, I loved the daily grind of it and coming up with new stuff and being topical, and I liked the discipline of that. So I really love it, and the response has been greater than anything I've ever done. Better than the books, better than being on TV. There's such a loyal
to know you
audience.
On a more personal level. That's why.
And that's also like a great freedom too, because in this age of like the political correctness and people dissecting a tweet and you're a racist and you're a this. And I still get that sometimes, but I won't put up with it now. I'm like, you know what? I've done 100 episodes. You listen to every hour and you tell me if after you listen to it, you know, because that's what's great. It's like it gives you the freedom to be a little more real and stuff, knowing that someone knows you like a friend would, and they know that if you make a joke, it's a joke.
Yeah.
You know?
If you could I think
I didn't love Hidden Figures.
You didn't love
I didn't love it.
Yeah.
I got called a racist. Like, enough. Well, I just can't put up with that. I'm allowed to not like a movie that non-white people are in, and it does not make me a racist. That I thought it was fine. I don't like math.
I hated
genre
Precious.
Movies.
I hated Precious. That sucked. That was terrible. That doesn't make me racist.
Or you're like, it was an important film, but it was emotionally too draining on me. Like there's, I just said, did I love that movie? No. Everybody was good actors, great costumes, important story to tell. I don't like when people start drawing on glass in a math problem.
Racist.
Yes, exactly. And
that's what it all comes down to.
But I start to get some heat, and it's not a ton of people, but it's enough to like piss me off.
Well, on a podcast or radio show, whatever it is you're doing, I mean, you do have the time to also explain why. So if they're not listening further, then that's their problem.
I explained it, and then I had to explain it again, and then I'm like, all right, it's time to block you, you meanie pot.
Right.
I don't like you.
That's what you should do. You should say, I'm going to block you, meanie pot.
Yeah, it's not worth the energy.
Sometimes you get involved in little battles back and forth.
Yes.
Do you miss doing the Chelsea Lately show?
Fortunately I get to see all my friends that were on the show, so they all come on the podcast, and I love the autonomy of what I'm doing. Like I'm really built something from scratch by myself. I didn't know anyone would listen, and now it's really quite successful, the podcast. And my stand-up, I've never had such successful shows as far as selling out and stuff.
Yeah.
Now versus being on TV. So in that respect, no. But it's great to see my friends, but I see them enough. And,
I say that because we did a live TV show from Times Square every day in New York.
Right.
And to be honest, we're definitely getting that itch. Like, man, it's been a while.
We haven't been back on TV in about a year, so it's like, you get, it's like...
So do you, when you walk around and you get recognized like a whole lot less, does that bum you out?
Yeah, a little bit. No.
Yeah, no, but you know what?
It's true. It's part of it. It's part of it. Like, I'll go, oh my God, like if I was here a year ago in Whistler with my kids, and I was stopped a couple times a day.
Right now,
and
not so much.
I'm not.
Well, it's
because they don't see you as much. It doesn't reflect in my, like I said, in the sales of my show, which is amazing about the medium of this. But yeah, I love TV. Sure, I mean I've done other things,
it's
but
just
to
exciting,
be on
that's
regularly,
right.
No, I'm not on a regular show. But that's all going to change. Just wait, I've got a lot of things coming in 2017.
I believe it.
No, but to back up what Heather said, I think it's more about routine. Like you were saying that you love doing the podcast and the other things out because
the podcast, because I was like, I need that discipline of like every day. Or I know I have to prepare for this, and then I'm like, oh,
and like you said, topical. You need that outlet to express about what's going on, in the news right now.
I just miss the daily because you start to get comfortable with something.
Yeah,
and then I'm like, we haven't done it in about a year now. Since we've been out here.
More than that.
So now it's just a matter of being comfortable and doing it every day. Like I love doing it.
You guys are like extremely good looking. Why has no one picked you up for TV?
We're working on it.
Well, we're
working on it.
We got ourselves to blame.
Working on it.
We've been a little lazy, that's why. But yeah, New year gets you motivated, so we're excited about that. How about your buddy Joe Coy? Is he?
I love Joe Coy.
We had him on, and it was like a great first date. Hit it off. Had the best time. He asked Rich to open up for him at a comedy night,
and then he changed his phone, and you could never get a hold of him again.
I haven't talked to him since.
Heard from him
haven't seen him since.
We really
he loses about 4 to 5 phones a year, and I'm not kidding.
Is that the truth? Wow.
That is the truth about Joe Coy. Joe Coy and I are very good friends. Our sons are best friends. I got him into our Catholic school.
No way. Okay.
I think he loves it. I don't know. And so then the boys are great. And then here they go to this Catholic school, and they put the boys there's 2 classes per grade, and they put them in the same classroom. And then the teachers are all annoyed. I'm like, you only have 2 comedians at the entire school who are parents.
Put their kids.
Why would you put their 2 sons who are the same age in the same class? But I love him. We have so much fun. But yeah, he loses his phone. You have to get a hold of the sister assistant. And just be on it because but he is hilarious and he's a great person.
I'm going to ask you the bullshit question we get asked all the time. I never have an answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
Okay,
because you were part of that Chelsea Lately thing, meeting celebrities and random people all the time. People always ask us, dude, who's like the best or worst? You ever get like major attitude from someone that comes on the show?
That came on the show? No. Everybody was always really nice. And I always think it's funny because people will talk about a celebrity and be like, met him, nicest guy in the world. That's what they said about OJ. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Of course. Are you gonna be mean to the waiter? Like, are you gonna be an asshole? Like, no. It's you're with your team. You're gonna do a 7-minute interview. Of course, you're nice.
Promoting you or whatever.
There's people that are nicer, like beyond, like a Kristen Chenoweth, who literally introduces you to every single person in her team and is so genuine.
Super sweet.
And and then there's other people that are totally fine. I don't remember anyone being like
they're in best behavior because they're there to, they're on television, probably promoting something, trying to play nice. There's no reason to be mean.
No, I mean, I think we've had some people that like turned out that they weren't great on the TV or whatever. Or, I mean, there was one, I think Puff Daddy was the latest. He came and our show was always really on time and and it like came down to like the last second. We were going to do the show. Like that's the only thing I remember that was sort of a pain in the butt, but then it turned out to be fine. It was funny, but and then people now that I've met, I've had great celebrities come on my podcast. Sometimes they're like, they don't realize that there could be more people listening to my podcast than several cable shows, which I know. And so they're like, a podcast? What's a podcast? And so I'm like, all right, I've tried 3 times. If you don't want to, like, I'm not going to, you want me to write an essay about how great, why this is worth an hour of your life? I'm like, forget it. It's fine.
Let me ask you this. You said the numbers. When you look at like Showtime stand-up specials, those things live online. They live on demand.
Right.
Do you, like, once you make that deal, do you say, I don't give a shit? Or are you constantly trying to be like, well, how many people are watching my Showtime special? Do they, like, when you make that deal, do they even go, is that like even addressed again? Or is it, hey, I do this
I made like no money off that.
So
and Showtime plays it all the time.
But that's good.
And when I mean no money, I mean no. So yes, I made some changes in my situation of who makes those deals for me now. But I loved the exposure, and then Netflix bought it, so anybody can see it,
which is cool.
So for me, I really don't know the exact number, but I think a lot, because a lot of people would come and wouldn't know me from Chelsea Lately or had seen it. And I love that it was on Showtime because there's an audience that will never look at Netflix, don't know how to get it.
Yeah.
And they'll go through their cable and watch it. So it was.
I know how to get it. Get your password from someone else.
Yeah,
that's how Netflix works.
Yeah. I'm not like obsessed with that as so much as Probably if I had a link to figure it out. I don't know. I just didn't like.
Oh, you don't have it? You're missing out. You don't have Netflix?
No, I have Netflix.
Yeah, okay.
I'm saying
she doesn't watch the numbers. Yeah.
If I had like a code that would tell me how many people are watching, maybe I would check it like you would like your Twitter feed or whatever. Right. But like I don't know. So I figured it did well, and I'm kind of deciding: do I want to do another? And how would I do that? Because I taped it in LA. And I thought it was great because I was from here, and I'm like, 818 till I die. I'm keeping it real. But when you film things in LA, people are such a-holes about it. They are so like, what? And it was. I had 2 shows that I was taping, and it was a Saturday before Easter. And all these people that are at my school are like, you tell us when you're performing. We want to come. And so then I'm like, all right, here's the date and everything. And they're like, it's the night before Easter. I'm like, well, can you get your baskets together the night before? Like,
no.
It's at 7 o'clock, you freak.
No,
it's like 10 minutes from
flakes.
your house.
People are flakes.
Like, after that, I was like, if I tape this again, I'm going to another city, anywhere but LA, and where people are appreciative to come out and see you and love you. And yes, so that's why when people go, you don't do that much stand-up in LA, I'm like, well, because I like it when people
are nice and sincere.
Speaking of which, I am doing something in LA.
Oh, where?
I am taping my first live podcast January 25th, Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the LA Improv, and I've got Chris Frangiola, hilarious comedian, who will do like the hot topics with me, and then Shannon Bedore, who's I'm sure your audience loves, is a Real Housewife.
When is this again? What's the date?
January 25th
at the LA Improv. I'm doing a basket weaving.
I'm really
preparing. So a week before the Super Bowl, I'm making some dips. And,
preparing for Easter a little early, but I would if I could.
Who is in the Super Bowl? No, I know it's not decided yet. I'm not that much of a check. But who's the top contenders?
Well, we're thinking
the hot contenders.
The Green Bay Packers and the New England Patriots. That's what we're thinking.
Probably be the matchup.
That could be the matchup.
Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady.
Oh, that's fun.
That would probably be the matchup most people would want, right?
You don't care about that stuff, though, do you?
No, I do. I like Giselle's body.
Yeah.
Right? She's very Tom Brady.
Well, that's the thing. People love to hate him.
I always go to a Super Bowl party. I always do the betting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I always wear a themed cute outfit. I pick whatever team I think has the most flattering colors and then act like I'm super into that. And then that's great.
Who would have flattering colors this year?
I guess Green Bay.
Green and yellow?
I mean,
flattering?
at least they're.
I don't think that's
they're vibrant. It's vibrant. I mean, if you want to go that route.
I think New England is what?
Like blue and red.
That's better.
Navy blue and red.
Red, white, and blue.
Sold.
Yeah, red, white, and blue.
Patriots.
Sold. I'm doing that.
But yeah, to Tom Brady, see Tom Brady win. I don't think anyone really cares about that, aside from anyone in New England.
Are you guys going to it?
What we do is we bring. If you go to the Super Bowl, it's all about the events leading up to the Super Bowl. So we sort of broadcast from all the events leading up to the big parties,
and then
this will be our 13th one in a row. So we're excited.
And
to go.
where do you stay in Houston?
I don't know, whatever hotel they put us up at. Who knows? Why, you have a good spot?
No, I don't know. I just kind of wonder.
No, we cover all the parties, and then once a game comes on Sunday, if it's a game we really want to go to, then we try to,
now, are you guys both single?
No.
Oh.
Well, you got some hoes in Houston?
I just think it would be a lot of hooking up if you guys were single at that stuff.
Yeah, that'll get us in a lot of trouble.
That was what it was like, yes. That was good times back then, back in the day. Oh, good times.
Well, I want to thank Heather McDonald for stopping by. Again, if you guys are in the New York City area, she's headlining Caroline's on Broadway, New York City, performing January 19th through the 22nd. You guys can hit her up at Heather McDonald.
Say hi to
Heather McDonald.
Greg Charles for us.
Yeah.
Who's Greg Charles?
He's the guy at Caroline's. The dude.
You know what? Last time I was in New York, I headlined Gotham.
So Chris
So it's
Mazzilli.
been a while since, so I will look forward to seeing him.
I love that guy. I love Greg Charles and Chris Mazzilli. And thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it. And we'd love to be on your podcast someday.
All right.
A goal, a mission.
Yeah,
hey,
for sure.
Absolutely.
At Heather McDonald, and you can check out your podcast, and of course your stand-up special is still on Netflix and everything, right?
Yes, just type in my name and enjoy yourself.
Thank you so much, Heather McDonald. Everybody.
Thank you.
Covino Rich.